All right, so this first earthquake is in Chile. This was from 1960, and we think this is the strongest earthquake that has ever been recorded by humans. And you can see what it did to the buildings. This was well over a 9 on the Richter scale. Total devastation. Another huge earthquake we had was in 1964. Even Mr. Gropp was not born yet, before my time. And you can see once again, this earthquake was huge. Tomorrow we're going to learn about earthquake waves. And waves move different directions. But this wave went up and down. And that's why you see the building broken like that, because the wave was called a surface wave. And so it lifted the building and dropped it. This earthquake shook for over 4 minutes, which is a very long time. Most earthquakes only shake for 10 to 15 seconds, would be considered a long earthquake. But this one was 4 minutes. Just tremendous amount of energy. Now, the good news about this one is in Alaska, not many people live there. And you can see they don't make their houses or buildings very tall because they get a lot of earthquakes. So most people ended up being okay from this one, even though it was so big. Remember, they are right on a boundary, a plate boundary, part of the Ring of Fire. This was downtown Anchorage. Look how much the ground sank from the rolling wave. Most earthquakes don't do that. Pretty bad stuff. But most people were okay. Now, anywhere on the Ring of Fire is dangerous. Here you see some quakes in Asia, South America. In the United States, our big earthquakes have mostly been in Alaska and California. We know the whole West Coast is dangerous. In 1989, there was a big earthquake, and it interrupted baseball, the World Series. There were 2 teams from California playing, and the earthquake happened on live TV. The cameras started shaking, and one of the announcers said, "I think we're having an earthquake." And they had to stop the game and actually postpone it for like a week before it was safe to check the stadium and to play baseball again. There were some deaths in this one. I'll show you a sad story in just a second. There was another big earthquake in 1994 in California. We haven't had anything big since then. It's been quite a while in California now, which might be a bad sign. It might mean that the stress is building up. In 2010, a big quake in Haiti, and this was the presidential palace in Haiti. A lot of people thought the president of Haiti might be hurt, but his family was able to walk out of the front of the building. Enough of it held together. Now, Haiti is a very poor country, and so there were a lot of deaths and destruction and homelessness, where you can see downtown Port-au-Prince, a very poor area. Here's some of the damage in the poor neighborhoods. So we sent people down, a lot of churches sent groups to help. We sent money and people to try to help Haiti rebuild. But even so, they're still struggling because of this earthquake 11 years ago. These are all pictures from Haiti. So the buildings are just cracked all the way through. When we go back to 1989 in California, what you're looking at here is a highway, and it was 2 levels of highway. And the top level fell down. You can see the poles snapped, and it fell down on top of the bottom one. And there were people underneath in cars, and they got crushed. This was a terrible disaster in California. Here you can see one section that did not fall down. And there's a semi truck underneath. So definitely roads are a place where we have to worry about earthquakes if there's bridges around. But being out in the open is actually where you want to be. It's not the earthquake that hurts you, it's the buildings and things that fall. In 2011, we had a really bad earthquake in Japan. We had one in 2004 also that caused a tsunami. And later in the week, I will show you tsunami pictures that are caused by the earthquake. But this one killed almost 20,000 people in Japan as the wave rolled through. You can see the wave coming on shore. It just looks like black water. And it caused a nuclear plant to have several explosions and leak radiation. The wave was 23 feet high. They only had a wall about tall enough for about 15 feet. The wave came right over the top and caused the damage that you see. Very sad.